Hi, everybody. This is Dina Moskowitz here, and we're excited to bring you this program, this conversation this morning. I'm going to let a few more, give it another couple minutes while everybody is joining, because we have quite a few people, over 100, who have signed up to be here today. And so it just takes time for everyone to connect in. Eran, you want to just do a mic test, and Anne, you as well? Say hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. I heard you. Good. Loud and clear. Great. Excellent. So what I'll do is I'll start to kick off, since it's the beginning is just what our agenda is today and what we're going to cover. And so we'll start with introductions, then why partnerships are critical to your North America go-to-market strategy, especially for cybersecurity. What are the best partner companies for your solution and how you can find them quickly? How to achieve successful partner alignment, getting the attention of the right partners and keeping their mind share. This has been a fun conversation. And tips on what not to do, some tough love, we'll address that. And we also have some special offers and resources for you toward the end that will help you and help you address some of these things that we talk about today. So there's some ground rules for those of you who are joining. Everyone is on mute. If you have a question or there's a challenge, feel free to put it in the chat. We are recording this, and so if you need to hop off or you'd like to share it with your peers or colleagues, we invite you to do that. We'll send it to you later. Type in your questions in the chat area. If they're relevant during the conversation, then we'll include them. We expect this to take about 30 minutes, and then we'll go to Q&A. So we respect everyone's schedule, and we should be able to get this conversation in, although I don't know, we've had some good and sort of heated discussions during rehearsal, so I hope that we don't go over. What else? That's it. We invite you to reach out to us on LinkedIn or email. We'll give that information to you later. And so off we go. So I am Dina Moskowitz. I am the CEO and founder of PartnerOptimizer. And what PartnerOptimizer is a B2B tech platform focused all around partner discovery and partner profiling and partner insights. And so in that, my life is spent talking with channel leaders, partnership leaders who are looking to grow and understand their channel partnerships and put in place important strategies to save them time and energy as they recruit and grow their channel. And so I'll pass the torch to Anne. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Anne Saunders. I manage the cybersecurity partnership portfolio for Capgemini. Capgemini is probably number 6 on the GSI ranking list globally. We have over 300,000 employees and a cybersecurity practice of 10,000 plus. My job is runs from helping with strategy with regards to which partner should be in the portfolio, to solution design, to negotiating terms with partners, and just everything that kind of pulls an ecosystem together around a cyber domain and the partners involved.
Hey guys, Hey guys, my name is Eran Rosenblum. I'm a GM of Ecosystem Strategy and Partnership with Iranian. We are a boutique consulting firm based out of California, but I'm sitting here in Israel, not far from Tel Aviv. We are focusing on growth stage and startups and assisting them to build their go-to-market strategy via partnership and ecosystems. We're assisting them to build their partner playbook and partner program. I've been within the partner arena for the past 20 years. I truly immersed into the partnership world. I love what I do. And welcome, Gail, to this webinar.
Yeah, and I just want to welcome, we have people around the world on this webinar right now. I'm in San Diego, California. Anne is in, Anne, you're up in the Bay Area of California, and Iran and Israel, but then our attendees really scope the entire globe. So it's a lot of fun to be able to participate in this. So the next thing we're going to do is just start out a quick poll. And we just want to know who our audience is. And Eran, you want to go through?
Absolutely. Well, friends, here's the first poll out of 2 that we have in today's webinar. The first question for you guys to share is, what is your top priority for your partner program for 2023? Is it recruit new channel partner, build partner ecosystem with other vendors, partners, focus on activation of your existing partner program, expand your program or ecosystem to new territories and markets, or you're going through joint marketplaces? We'll let you guys to place your votes.
Yep, about 50% have voted so far, but there's a lot of you. So yeah, please take a minute to, or a few seconds to just add in your priority. We got 60% voted.
Guys, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to close the poll and I'm going to share it.
Okay, so that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
So the majority, which is 30-something% of our audience looking to recruit new channel partners, then we have to build partner ecosystems and focus on activation. That's pretty much what we see out there of most companies that are looking to expand their go-to-market through partnerships. And we are going to dive into those elements throughout the webinar. So thanks for placing your votes.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, it's 35% recruit new, 26% build your partner ecosystem with other vendors, and 26% focus on activation of existing partners. So with that in mind, we'll definitely take this conversation to address those top priorities. So the first topic we want to go through is, why are partnerships critical to your North America go-to-market strategy? It might seem obvious, but there really is more intention behind it, more strategy. And Eran, I'll let you get us started.
Right. So without a doubt, and everybody here will agree with me, that North America, which is US and Canada, is probably the #1 territory for every company to build their go-to-market and acquiring new customers, logos, and build their infrastructure from the get-go. Now, the question is, why partnership? And I think if you look into the US, you know, beyond the fact that it has 50 states, right? Tens of metros that can be covered and acquired, companies and customers, millions of businesses of all sorts. It's not just about the New York area and the Fortune 500, but we're looking into the Fortune 2000 and the Fortune 5000 and many, many more companies that most companies can actually sell into and be able to acquire those companies along their journey. Now, in terms of why partnership, there's many ways to approach new markets. And it's really about what is your goal in terms of what you would like to achieve in that new territory. Now, if we look specifically into cybersecurity, the last time I checked, there are 2,500 different companies that claim to have a cybersecurity solution of sort. And that can be across 40+ cybersecurity segments. So the #1 question is, what the right way and what is the best way to approach that market, right? So one of those things that most companies are trying to achieve is, of course, as many logos, as many customers as possible, revenue associated to it, of course. But it's all about the differentiation, the value proposition, the brand awareness. And if you are looking to build and expand your existing partner program or existing customers base, is all about acceleration. And that's where partnership taking a full presence, because in the US alone, as I mentioned, 50 different states. There are all sorts of partners around the US, anywhere from referrals to VARs, resellers. They're segmented along through different coverage models, where it's local or regional, national, global. And it's really important to understand that they have the significant relationship with your future customers. Your customers, at the end of the day, bought something through one of your future or existing partners. And partnership is key to build this type of flywheel and accelerate your growth through your sales and partner organization moving forward. So
Right.
the last thing that I would like to touch is resources. And initially, companies in growth stage, in their growth stage journey, don't have a lot of resources in place. They're looking to outsource, and they can outsource most of their activities through partners. For example, marketing, service, support, and of sort. What do you think about that, Dina?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, well, I think that, partners are the feet on the street, and to conquer a new territory that is so big and broad, and it's usually the territory in North America is the one that the financiers of your product, of your company care about. In order to get that footprint, you can't do it alone. You can't do it with the direct sales force. You can't do it on the Israeli time zone or a European time zone when you've got your North American customers who need to be spoken to and dealt with in person or live or on their time zone. And the other thing that's critical is that we all think that we have the best software solution. Even I do, PartnerOptimizer, right? But I'm not the only, and your product is not the only solution that your customers are looking at and evaluating buying. And so they're typically going, at least for a cybersecurity stack, to their trusted advisor and saying, what do I select? How do I, what's most important? And if you don't get to those partners who have a choice of hundreds to thousands these days of cybersecurity solutions, that they're going to recommend and implement solutions that are not yours. So it's a competitive advantage. It's a way to get the feet on the street, and it's a way to be concluded in the tech stack of the many small and medium-sized businesses out there that you otherwise could not get in the door. So it's in my opinion, that's why it's critical, is that you've got to be with them before your competitors do. Anne, what do you think?
Definitely all good points. Agree. It's all about the tech stack, and it's all about creating ecosystems, because there's not a single product within the cybersecurity spectrum that will cover all the bases and be the silver bullet. A lot of companies like to come to us and say they have that, but that is actually not the case. The North American market is definitely key, also for the fact that what's driving transformation across all sectors and all markets that cybersecurity touches, because I have a strong philosophy around cybersecurity being an enabler of the business. It's not an island, a standalone sector that sells services for services' sake. It's in business to support the bigger business. Anyhow, so the reason the North American market is so important is because the drivers behind the transformations we're seeing with regards to moving to the cloud, those companies are based here. They have their R&D all over the world, but they're headquartered here. And you probably all know, everyone on this conference call knows the three I'm speaking of. So being aligned and understanding and being closely coupled, or at least gathering intel as close as you can to what those companies are doing to understand every company's cloud strategy is key. And a lot of that is being driven out of North America. To the resources point, I totally agree with Eran. The reason to have partners, this is global, not just North America, is because of the resource challenge cybersecurity in particular has. There's just not enough talent. So one of my criteria when I'm looking at partners is also looking at their professional services bench. So if they come in with a technology that's really going to help us innovate or do something a bit different, they'd have to have a services bench that was willing to support us, shadow us, and even be us when needed, because it's just, you can't keep a cybersecurity staff, a big staff. So I guess that brings us to the next poll.
Yep.
What are your toughest challenges when trying to recruit partners? So everyone take a minute to fill it out.
Yes. And the choices are
building an IPP, which I didn't know what that was until a couple days ago, your ideal partner profile, to know
Right.
what companies to recruit, discovering the right partners to recruit, building and designing the recruitment strategy. That's always challenging, I know. And resources to focus on recruitment, marketing, people, tools, etc.
So 50% have voted. Let's see if we can get another few seconds in so everyone else can vote as well. It's a pretty interesting distribution here. I'm going to close it now. And let me see. Anne, can you see the results there?
Yes, I can. So first off, building an IPP to know what companies to recruit is we have 18% are focused on that. Discovering the right partners to recruit, 32%, that's key. Building and designing a recruitment process, 18%, and resources to focus on recruitment, marketing, people, or tools, 32%.
Interesting. 1832, 1832. Well, that brings us to our next slide and our next topic of conversation, which is which are the best partner companies for your solution and how can you find those quickly? And I have a lot to say about that, but I'll let Eran talk first from the standpoint of working with many customers directly to understand these things. So go ahead, Eran.
Right. Thank you. I would like to start. Well, this question has divided as a split into twofold. First, whether you have an existing partner program in place and you would like to expand. We will touch on that. And there's new companies that's just starting to build their partner program from scratch, and that requires a different kind of thought process and understanding on how to look for the right partners. But what's common for both both companies that are trying to build their program is first and foremost is to understand from the get-go what's your program goals, what are you trying to achieve through your partners, because there are different set of partners that can become, provide you with a different role within your customer journey. It can be a solution-oriented partner, it can be a referral partner, it can be a marketing associated partner, etc. So there's a different set of goals that you need to understand beforehand. Once you do that, what you would like to do is how to understand which partners are the best fit for each tier of your partner program. And here we talk about the ideal partner profile. But before even touching the ideal partner profile, most companies have to understand what's their ideal customer profile, because that's where everything starts. Everything derived from the understanding who your customers are, where they are located, what's their main pain that you are about to solve, and everything then translate into segmenting your partners and building your desired IPP. Now, what is an IPP? Dina, you're the expert, right? So
IPP, you know me. Yeah, so ideal partner profile is a term that came from the derivation of ideal customer profile, ICP. And like Eran said, it's really critical to understand who is your ideal customer first and foremost. Who are those customers that are going to consume and use and purchase your products, because that's the end goal. And knowing that and participating in an exercise with your stakeholders, your head of revenue and your salespeople, your marketing people, the ones who are touch pointing your actual end customers should be participating in an exercise around what is your ideal partner. Even the CEO, the field service people, any existing partners as well, you can use to understand what an ideal partner is. The way we look at it in a simple way so that we can slice and dice is that we say they have DNA. every partner has a little bit of different DNA, but typically the most successful partners you have will have a lot of DNA in common. We call it their partner genome, right? And because it's, you take all that DNA and you roll it up and you look at what they look like as a profile, and from that you can typically better understand what kind of partner and predict whether or not they're going to be a good partner for your solutions. Just some of the examples of what type of company is it? If you're in cybersecurity, are you really going to MSSPs, or is an MSP okay? Is it just a small security consultant or a SOC provider? Or, you know, what is your ideal partner? Is it even another SaaS solution that you integrate with? What solutions and services do they have expertise in? And then product types, same thing. We look at their ICP very specifically. So what verticals they're focused in, what geographies are they focused in, what types and sizes of companies are their sweet spot? Because some partners may have very different sweet spots than others, and that could be part of your strategy, but we want you to really look at that. Is it a horizontal solution that you're offering, or is it very focused on an industry or a size? These all matter because the partners have their own DNA, and if you're going to spray and pray, as we like to say, to the entire world of MSPs or MSSPs, you're going to hit the wall a lot, as opposed to being very targeted and going after the right ones more quickly. Knowing what's in their tech stack, right? Are they working already and very aligned with your competitors, or are they already have a good tech stack that is adjacent to yours, or both? Can your solution actually steal competitors' market share, or are they going to be too tied in with your competitor to spend time trying to steal them away? Those are really important questions to ask and answer and understand. Additional things like what competencies, what partner programs do they belong to? Are they in the Microsoft ecosystem, or Azure, or Google? You know, those things all matter in terms of what they care about, what they're willing to look at and buy and integrate and resell. So, Anne, from your perspective, what's critical as far as you know, your idea of an ideal profile of of a partner for you? Because you are one of the largest partners in the world.
So I like to try to, of course, break it down by cyber domain. I look at a partner from the perspective of, are they helping us fill a gap? As I've mentioned before, it's pretty straightforward. What they think their trajectory is with regards to what they're going to capture in their market based on what their technology is doing and the problem the technology is solving. And then I look at we look at where in the technology stack or the ecosystem where they actually fit, and if they play well with the other partners in the stack. I've had situations where I've actually probably kicked out somebody who had, from a technical capabilities perspective, better technology, but the inline integration with the other pieces in the solution weren't there, and it wouldn't work at the end of the day for the final outcome. So really, for us is, you know, making sure that there's, you know, they're in the stack properly, there's the right levels of integration at the right points and what we're designing. And then, of course, there's all of the business side of it, with regards to, is the company big enough? Is it stable enough? Is it going to be around in a year? You know, how does it operate? You know, are they willing to be flexible with terms? You know, how do we structure the agreements? Things of that nature. I like to look at partners that are, most of them are, for the most part, willing to be flexible with regards to how we structure terms, just depending on how we want to deliver a service. But all those elements come into play. So.
Yep, and I think it's a great point, and for everyone to think about again, there's what you think is your ideal partner, but are you showing up as the ideal partner for your partners? Right?
Yeah.
And so that's a great segue into, how do we achieve successful partner alignment? Eran, what do you think?
That's a big question. And let me try and break it down into small components here. So I think first and foremost, in order to have a great alignment with partners, you have to understand everything about their business. What their core business looks like, what they're focused on, who they do business with, and how they do business with. This is super important. that will allow you later on to better align your solution and services with their offering. The second thing that is obviously important as well is, what do they care about? And we have asked a lot of VARs and channels and MSPs, mainly in the US, what do you care about? And I think the top two answers were, we need our vendors to be very clear about their offering. We need a good, strong partnership program with a very clear engagement process. And we need them to assist us to learn and educate our own personnel on how to sell and provide a good value to our customers. Those are the most important things for most of the partners out there. So once you understand that, and it's, don't be shy. Ask those questions to your partners. If you have an existing partners on board already, go and ask them those tough questions. They will share, they will tell you everything they want and to assist you on your journey within other partners. Another topic that I would like to touch on is, make sure that your program is super easy and frictionless. That means that don't complex what doesn't need to be complex. You can start with a very simple program within a couple of weeks, just launch it, retest it, reevaluate it, and build your program layer on top of a layer, right? So understanding, again, what works for your partners is super important. Make it easy for them to understand and make it clear for both sides to articulate, any items or challenges that they face throughout the journey. Remember, at the end, partnership is a two-way street, right? Don't expect everything to be done by your partners. Your partner expects at least the same level of commitment and actions from you. So it's a two-way street. Think about it from the get-go. Your alignment, you will be much stronger and clear. What do you think, Dina, about that?
Yeah, well, I think everything you said makes perfect sense. I think it's when you start out by knowing who your partner is and taking the time to really understand and ask them questions about their business and what their top priorities, what their KPIs are, that's critical, as well as building a trusted relationship with them, not just saying, oh, I signed them up, now they're going to send me deals. You've got to put on your partnership hat and say, what can I do for you? And not just say, what can I do for them? It's not a them. They are part of your we now. If you're looking to align with partners, they're a we. They're like your extended sales force. And you want to treat them like gold, because they're not just like your sales force, they're also your customer. In many cases for cybersecurity, it's the MSSPs or the MSPs who are actually doing the purchasing. And so don't forget that they are the key, the link, the connection to the transaction. And so you want to know what makes them happy. The other thing I want to touch on is that we see a lot of times when a channel team is coming and looking to do profiling of partners or discovery of new partners, they only care about, well, how many installs do they have and how many customers they have. The question you should be asking is, do they have the right customers, right? And not only that, but do they have the trusted relationships with those customers to where they're going to be able to successfully sell my solution in to those customers? Because the installs, it's not as critical. It's sure, we all want to know that. We all typically get a good understanding of it, but really, is this partner one that you can do business with, that you like, that they're going to like you, and that there's that alignment, and that you can support them with the tools, the selling, the co-selling that they need from you. And how about you?
All good points for sure. Alignment is setting the expectations and being transparent up front on what you expect the partnership to look like from your side. that's probably the most critical component for us, is to have that open communication and frank conversation about what you expect, because a lot of times companies come to us just because we're so big. Oh, it's a slam dunk, we're done, we don't have to do anything else, just turn on the money machine and it's all set. Doesn't quite work that way. So it's like, achieving the alignment means, being transparent and upfront about what you both, expect to achieve out of the partnership. And I would say the other element about it is be thoughtful about, learn a little bit about our business. As it's important to understand, where we're going, where we're focusing on. Ask questions of us. We get in a lot of situations where we're in meetings where the other side just never stops talking to even ask us, where we might be interested, or, what we're trying to accomplish. Be ready to have that kind of insightful conversations with the people you want to companies you want to partner with, large and small, because it's important.
And it brings up, we get companies that come to us and say, oh, we're now with Capgemini, or we're now with Optiv. And so we don't need a whole lot more partners. But the reality is, especially for emerging growth ones, it may have been a customer that got you in with that partner, but it doesn't mean that that partner agreed to align and go and sell and take your product to market. So you may have a transaction that went through the partner, which is a great start, but you're going to have to leverage that to land and expand that relationship. It doesn't mean that you're now in business and that the floodgates are going to open up. There's so much more to do there. And also to realize that those big ones like Capgemini are dealing with very large, successful, already proven technologies that they're very committed to and have invested in a lot of their people learning how to sell those solutions, learning how to service those solutions. So how are you going to make it easy for them to invest in their resources to make you successful?
And create the justification. I mean, I do a lot of research with startups that I like, and I see, and from my own just observations and my part of my job, and I see where they're going to fit maybe in 18 months, and I have to do a lot of legwork on the back end to justify and sell internally that, hey, we really need to look at these guys because we see changes in how we're going to secure 5G networks, and so as an example. We should look at these guys. So there's a lot of that happens behind the scenes that the companies that come to us don't realize happen, and they just kind of take for granted that they're in, they had a conversation, great, it's good, done. It's not quite like that.
I think partnership is, I think working around alignment is not just working in front of the sales team within the partner. You're required actually to have an alignment of every department within your partner. The marketing team, your marketing team should talk to their marketing team. Your service team should work with their service team. Your executive ownership should talk to the CEO or VP of strategy or CTO on your partner level. So the alignment requires a hard work on getting people in front of the people that they will work with for the rest of this partnership.
Right.
This is what I saw through a growth stage company startup, and it's something that they need to keep in mind.
Yeah, and it can sound daunting or hard, and it does take a long time to grow your channel, but the ROI is incredible when you do it well. And so that leads us to, and we're running out of time on the main program before the Q&A, but we have two topics left, and one is how to get to the attention of the right partners and keep their mind share, and the other is tips on what not to do and what to avoid. So Eran, let me start you off with getting the attention of the right partners and keeping their mind share. What are a few things you have to say?
And I'll keep it short. I'll be for the time. So how to make sure that your partners are actually getting your full attention and mind share. I think the easiest thing to do for most companies is to build a good platform for engaging with their partners. You know, there's great tools like pre-RMs and other partner portals that can assist you to provide you with your partners with your offering resources on any level: marketing, sales, operations, services, product, technology, etc. So embrace that, have a partner portal in place, engage with your customers, with your partners, make sure that you actually measure those KPIs, because engagement is all about KPIs, and you would like to make sure that that engagement level is high. Second thing is, if you already have partners in place, use them. It's a great resources. You know, build a joint use case study, storytelling around your product, joint offering. This is a great thing to bring other partners on board. It shows everybody out there that you are partner oriented, you are focused on partnership, and this is what your kind of partnership will result. The last thing that I haven't seen a lot taking place is market into the channel. So we all do marketing to our customer base or potential customers, but I hardly see a lot of companies actually marketing into their potential partners. That requires a different language, that requires a different ways and channels to understand where they are, what they're listening to, who's the influencers, who's the key persons that works with those channels, partners. But it's another route to market. It is a good tool to have. What's your take on that, Dina?
No, I think that's great. We have a list that we could provide of resources in the channel, or where to market and leverage channel media, et cetera, that we'd be happy to share if anyone wants to reach out to us. But I think as well, it's how to get the attention is to, you know, keep tracking them. What are they doing? How are they evolving? How are they working with your products and solutions with their customers? And stay in touch with them. Find out what's on their horizon. Don't be a pain and don't try to take up all their time, but let them know that you care, let them know you're watching, give them the collateral they need, and give them heads up on what's coming down the pipeline so they can anticipate the good things and the growth in your product and solution. Anne, what do you think?
Agree. I totally agree. You know, keeping that communication line open. Like I said earlier, be mindful and actually think about what the partner may be doing or where they're going. Do your research so you know before you go in. And yeah, it's really helpful to kind of help bring relevant information to the table when you have the conversations. And I would say also, you know, it's hard to keep people in the same job. We see this a lot in cybersecurity right now. So if you have someone that's managing a partnership that you consider important or is trying to develop it, if that person leaves or if you cycle through, make sure the next person you bring on board has all the background on what's been done up to that point. It's very, very frustrating to have to start over with a partner every year because somebody's new's moved in or somebody's moved out and whatnot. So, you know, having someone that has a history and if there's changes in people, they actually know the history, that's very helpful. And I would say that helps me a lot. It shows that you're willing to put some effort into it as well, into the partnership as well. I don't need to see your sales deck you showed every other GSI and whatnot.
Right, make them feel the love. You have to be there, you know, each one needs to feel that you're special, and that's why you want to partner with them and you want to make them successful too. It's not about them making you successful. If you make them successful, then they're going to make you successful. So that brings us to the final topic, which is kind of an extension of the prior one, is what not to do and how to avoid losing good partners. So these are things that we talked about that partners and channel chiefs or channel salespeople are doing that drive partners crazy or that can lose the partner. So Eran, you want to get started on this?
Absolutely. So bear with me. I have four points of do not. So the first one is make sure you keep a high engagement level with your partners. Treat your partners as if they were the most strategic customers. If you do that, you're in a win-win situation. The second, do not make any decisions or strategic changes without consulting your key partners. It will have a ripple effect on their business as well. So keep them in the loop. The third one, and I think, Anne, you mentioned that, right? Do not change or reinvent your program every 6 months. It's hard already for the partners to actually consume every details of your partner program. It also takes time for them to actually execute on new things with their customers and actually translate whatever in your head into their strategy and go-to-market actions. And the last one is, do not replace, as you mentioned, Anne, your partner managers as often. You know, this is key. It's all about building up relationship. And if you're already doing that, as Anne mentioned, you know, make sure that you have a very easy handoff, and make sure that your new partner manager is well aware of any key items and the history of that partners with you. That's my 4 do not. Your take, Dina.
Dina? Oh, go ahead.
Well, Anne, you go ahead, because you guys, you know, Anne as a partner, more important than me, so go ahead.
I can kind of echo what Eran's saying. You know, if your partner management or your partner organization changes on a relatively frequent basis, you know, make sure the people that are coming in to replace who's moved out at least has a history. I would say also, you know, be proactive on the communication. Please don't wait for us to call you, especially if you're already in the partner and we've gone through all the process and, you know, we've decided there is something there that we want to build upon. You know, reach out. Don't make it a one-way communication. And if you're pitching to us, as I kind of alluded to earlier, do not send your sales deck that has, you know, headers and footers that say Accenture or Emphasis or Deloitte on them and talk to me. That's really insulting. So that goes to, you know who you're walking into and who you're going to talk to. And I'm probably speaking for all of them, but I will, you know, I'm obviously slanted because I'm at Capgemini. Our cybersecurity team is very, very strong. There's a ton of experience. We have, you know, as I said, 10,000 plus people, but we have a very, very strong heritage. A lot of people don't really know much about it. I think I'm not quite sure. I'm not in marketing, but I can say from who I work with and the acquisitions that have been made, you're dealing with top-notch cyber people. So bring your A-game people. You know, when you finally get the meetings with the stakeholders and leadership, it's really disappointing when when everything comes together and I get into a room with people that don't really know much about how their technology works beyond what the slide deck says, or about anything about, you know, our heritage, or, you know, what's really going on behind the scenes. That sort of homework, that sort of research, you know, be ready when you get to that point. You know, like I said, I think I speak for a lot of the GSIs, but, you know, being biased and being from a company that Capgemini acquired that was, you know, very, very hardcore, true defense first, you know, critical infrastructure first cybersecurity team, you know, bring your A game, bring your people, bring your SMEs, so we can understand quickly how we might work together.
Great. Those are really important. Whether you're a big solution provider or even the smaller ones, that's a really important component of what not to do. And
Yeah.
so that leads to mine, which is don't waste your partner's time.
Yeah.
They have very little time. And if you're going to call and talk about something that, you know, talk at them instead of with them, or send a junior person who doesn't really understand the depth of, you know, the product and your solution and how it can help your partner, you're going to only have that one little chance and lose it. The other one is, if you make sure, and this is really important, is don't just build a relationship with one stakeholder in your partner company. You need to make sure that you understand and have a relationship with their head of the technical side and head of sales and those other stakeholders who are going to make the selling of your solution and implementation of it be successful. And if that partner head leaves for some reason, you need that continuity. So invest up front in making sure you know who all those people are and that you are courting them and nurturing that all the way through.
I have a caveat to that, though.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, Dina, but I will say this. Don't go around the people that are managing the relationship. Don't, make sure you're transparent on everyone you're talking to, because that's, that looks bad from a from a strategic perspective. You're going around and you found one particular division in, EMEA or something, and you've decided to focus on them, and you're not keeping everyone you've met along the way that's helped you kind of build the credibility so that team will actually listen to you without letting those people know. That looks bad. So try not to do that.
Definitely, that's really important too. Yeah, so we kind of wrapped up the program, and apologize, we're a little later than we expected, but to give you some extra insight into some offers that we have, if you want to build and are starting to look at recruiting partners for the year ahead, or want to know who your existing partners are and how ideal they are, we have a worksheet that you can download as a start. And it's very easy. You can take your stakeholders through it, your heads of sales and marketing, your C-suite, and make sure you're all on the same page. And if you do that and want to submit it to us or share it with us, we also have some special offers that are pre-2023, because things are going to be, well, we just have a lot of good stuff going on in our platform with the discovery engine and profiling engine going forward. And we can give you some good deals in advance. For Inner Onion, I think Eran, he built an amazing partner pitch deck. The template is available for you to download, and if you request it from him at his email address here, or by submitting to any of us, I think we can share it with you. It'll also be on our website. And so definitely take a look at that and reevaluate how your current pitch deck is looking, because there's always room for improvement, especially when you're looking at it from the perspective of the partner. And then Anne is willing to have anyone interested go through a little bit of a pitch review with her and get her feedback and brainstorm. And Anne, I don't know if you want to share any more color on that.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm willing to, as time allows, of course, be patient on that front. But if you're kind of interested in learning, how, at least from our perspective, how we're looking at partners and, what we're looking for, or, how we kind of break down and determine who's a good fit, who's not, I'm happy to have a conversation and share a little bit of insight on what that looks like.
Excellent, thank you for that. So,
advantage of that. I think it's a great offering. Thank you, Dina.
Yep, excellent. So that's the end of our program. We do have questions, and that we'll address now. And if you want to stay on, we welcome you to. And so the first of those questions would actually go toward Anne, which is that if I'm going to work with a GSI or pitch to a large global system integrator, do I need to go at it from the perspective of they expect to be exclusive?
No, the exclusivity clause is a no-go usually, so we will shy away from that, and you should as well.
Okay, good. And Eran, here was a question that said, if you are, how can you get more support from your C-suite to invest in more channel partner programming?
I say the number one important thing to do is to involve everybody, all the key stakeholders within your company while you build your partner program. Make sure that it goes all the way from the CEO to your CMO, through your VP R&D and other stakeholder that has something to gain out of this partnership. I think the second thing that needs to be done is to keep educating internally your, again, stakeholders, people you work with, your sales team, your marketing team, make sure that they are aware what it takes and what resources are needed and what they can gain, again, from building a great partnership. While you do that and building this type of process internally, that allows you to make sure that everyone has something to give. They have a good timeline and understanding on how the development of such a partner program will look like moving forward. And you can then articulate what needs to be changed, what needs to be done, what works, what doesn't, and make sure that you become an expert on your domain and have the ability to influence the different segment within your company.
Good. Yeah. I think, educating the C-suite as well, that it takes time, but bringing them through an ROI decision, right? And if a partner is not just bringing you one deal, but they're bringing you multiple, understand what that is. Understand the metrics of your cost of partner acquisition and all the other components, and demonstrate to them that while it may seem pricey upfront or over the year, that when you look at that ROI, it's substantial, much greater than each cost of customer acquisition. And I think if you can take that metric perspective and bring that to the C-suite, they'll appreciate your understanding of the business side of it as well. And that especially goes when it comes to the technology integrations. It's more obvious when we're doing through a channel partner that's going to resell and transact very specifically. But when it comes to those integrations, you also need to demonstrate why an integration is going to drive revenue and transaction, and do your best to explain that monetization, because there's a lot of investment that goes into that. Yeah, it looks like there's another question about ideal partner profile, and that question is your ideal partner profile, fixed for the year, or how does it, how can you reevaluate it as it trends over time? And I think that's someone that kind of knows a little bit about that already, that, as you recruit new partners and those new ones are driving more revenue, to be able to assess who your best partners are most currently and be able to look at what those characteristics are and what they have in common will definitely help you understand who you want to recruit as partners of the future, as well as to figure out which of your existing partners may be needing to get further activated by you. And so, yes, do not just assume that it's a one and done. Partner profiling, knowing who your partners are, being more targeted. There's a term ABM, which is account-based marketing. Well, if you apply those same principles to account-based partner marketing, you can really understand how the hyper-targeting can make a difference. And on a large scale, it could save channel teams enormous amounts of time and resources by knowing this up front. And for the smaller channel teams where you only have limited time and resources to call partners, you want to be calling and doing that marketing toward the right partners. So getting more targeted and understanding your ideal partner and who those are and what makes them tick is really critical to always keep top of mind. So there's one other question in here, which is, it says, what can vendors do to keep their channel managers in place for longer durations to maintain their relationships? So, Eran, I'll ask you that, since the question is related to what vendors can do.
What vendors can do about keeping their channel managers in place?
Yeah.
Okay, that's well, I think it's all about building a strong team. Normally, within vendors, those people that coming on board and becoming partner managers, they're there for the long run. They're very strong skill sets on building relationship. It's kind of a mini CEO in a sense, right? So they have a really wide skills and tasks to be done on a daily basis. You need to provide them with the freedom to shape the way your partner programs will look like, how the relationship with your partners will will look like, again, within your partner program. In terms of incentives, treat them as the same way you treat your sales personnel, but understand that there's different rules even within your partner organization, because if you do a recruitment, look for somebody that is basically can bring you new partners on board. Once you've done that, there's another set of partner managers that actually can assist you on building a good engagement and a success plan together with your partners. So make sure that you understand what's the strengths are within your partner team, and make sure that you put your best partner managers at the right place, at the right role for them to succeed.
Yep. I would say another extra tip on that is when you're bringing on your channel salespeople, don't expect them to just bring you their contacts and their Rolodex and for that to make them successful. You need to still give them the tools to be successful, the access to the partner matches that are right for them, as opposed to what they came with, because their prior relationships may not be in the ideal partner companies for you. So your channel salespeople should be able to have the tools they need to be successful recruiting partners and engaging and upselling and co-selling with partners, whether they have those relationships or not. So it's more so hire for their skill sets and for their capabilities, knowing that you can support them with tools, as opposed to for the handshake relationships they can have in most cases. Make them successful. Yeah, so I think that's the, there's a few other questions, but I think we asked and answered them mostly throughout the this conversation, so they came up before. So thank you everyone for your time, and I hope this was valuable to you and that you'll be able to plan better ahead for 2023 in your partner program. Again, we have some great tools and great offers here on the screen for you to take advantage of with your team. We want you to be successful. We want the channel to grow. We all hear about things like it's the decade of the ecosystem, the decade of the channel ecosystem right now. I agree with it. I'm seeing a lot of tailwinds. There's more opportunity in that regard than ever, and especially when it comes to the economic conditions right now. We'd much rather be able to leverage sales forces that we don't have to pay for than to have to invest in direct sales forces. And so this is a great path to market in a downturning economic period. But Anne, any further things that you want to say before we head off, or Eran?
No, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
It was great having you. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you, Dina. That was fantastic. Thanks,
Great.
everybody.
All right. Well, thank you all. Have a great day and go build your channel.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.